He's on one today, folks. You mentioned facts over feelings. We should probably point out two other facts. Who led the Celtics in points, rebounds, and assists in the finals? Oh, it was Jason Tatum. Right. And in the entire postseason, who led the Celtics in points, rebounds, and assists?
Yeah,
that's right, Jason
He
Tatum.
is their most talented player.
Does everything.
Yeah, he is good in those blowouts.
And by the way, MVP voting, did you see it was like 7-4, the media, the ink-stained wretches voting? They hate, for some reason, Tatum because he's came up empty in the finals, in the conference finals last year. They don't like him.
NBA media doesn't hate any player.
They do not. I'm telling you, they don't love Tatum.
It's the softest media of the sports medias.
I don't
Football
disagree with
media
that.
can be intense. Soccer media, tough. Baseball media, snarky. NBA media is, they like stories. They always lean to be nice to the young players, which is not a terrible habit, but nobody's anti-Tatum. Media now is so soft. You go back to the Dick Young New York Post days. Media was mean in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Like, the media now is young.
Well, a year ago, they tried to run off Missoula. there's headlines in the Boston Globe, Joe Missoula's got to go.
What are you talking about?
When they lose to the Heat.
Okay, and Brad Stevens had to empower the staff because he did get worked. This is Boston. The standard in Boston is you have the best coach and you win the game. It's not you get worked by Eric Spoelstra and lose to Bam Adebayo and Butler when you have a better roster. You're saying this is criticism, and I'm saying Missoula did deserve criticism. He got worked by Spoelstra, and that's okay. He was a young coach. But Brad Stevens won Executive of the Year. Brad, who coached this group, he coached this group, right? He knew the deficiencies. He knew the more Tatum dependent they were, he didn't have great trust in that. So he augmented this team with two more skilled offensive players. He made it less Tatum dependent, more collaborative, and it worked brilliantly. But Brad Stevens doesn't hate the Celtics.
No.
He recognized a weak coaching staff and a Tatum habit to step back, not lean into huge moments.
Well, remember, they also had Marcus Smart last year, who was like, hey, it's the fourth quarter, I need the ball, I need the rock, kind of like me in men's league games. Marcus Smart's jacking shots. It's like, dude, I know you're a leader.
Yeah.
We got to move on from you. And I think that was a big addition by subtraction. Remember, they moved on from Grant Williams, too. I think Grant Williams was there last night. Anyways, let's get to the stories. First up, Colin, Trevor Lawrence got his big contract on Friday, $55 million per year. Now we're waiting, and it sounds like Tua Tagovailoa is closing in on a deal. The latest report indicates he and the Dolphins are in the ballpark on a new contract. Could happen this week. One number being floated, Colin. You're not going to like it, but it's a 4-year deal, which would average him out at $49.6 million a year, right under that magic 50.
No,
more than Kyler Murray.
Shouldn't be paid more than Kyler, but whatever.
Give me a break. So there's a big gap. Kyler Murray signed his deal, I think, like 3 years ago, and at 46, and then Hurts is at 50. I can't mind.
Yeah, I would
51.
much prefer he come around in the 43, 44 million.
That's not happening. That is not happening.
It's not, but I would say they kept him under 50, and I think that's reasonable. I think Tua should be in the 4s, not the 5s. And so that's fine. I don't have a problem with Trevor, Joe, Jared, Justin, Lamar. I think Jalen Hurts I'd be a little concerned about based on his decline post Shane Steichen. Most of these guys are paid. To me, obviously, Mahomes keeps reworking his deal. But I generally don't have a problem with any of these. I'm not a Deshaun Watson fan, so I don't need to regurgitate that. But I think if you can get Tua in the 40s, I'd rather go low to mid-40s, but it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. Listen, Dolphins are going to need him to contend. I still don't understand why they didn't draft a quarterback high, but, I guess they got a game plan over there. Let's move on to Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar, 2 MVP awards, 0 Super Bowl trips so far. Following last season's AFC title loss to the Chiefs, John Harbaugh and Lamar discussed expanding their audibles at the line of scrimmage, something QB's coach T. Martin broke down for the media.
You're not going to give a guy keys to the Ferrari and tell him to do 30, and so that's really what it is. And sometimes as coaches, you can't be scared when they make mistakes, and you can't allow the mistakes that they make to put fear in your heart for not calling that play the next time, because without that, there's no growth. And so, with Lamar, I tell him, hey, man, number one, whatever hits your brain first, we're going to live with it. And as long as we're all on the same page, it's not a wrong call. It's not a bad call.
I wonder how much this stems from that game where they had, it was a wacky play calling. Remember against the Chiefs, they ran the ball, with running backs, 6 times, some, insane low number.
Yeah.
And maybe they were too predictable, and they weren't audibling at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it was something. What was interesting is that didn't draw more criticism. That was.
I'm pretty sure we crushed them the day after.
We did. I thought it was the strangest game plan for a power running team to not run the ball and keep Mahomes off the field was the strangest game plan I ever recall in a big game. That's why I wouldn't put it all on Lamar. They refused to run the ball. If you're going to be something for 18 weeks and then you shift in week 19 or 20, good luck. So Baltimore, I still can't get. I said this before. I compared Baltimore's playoff loss to the Warriors going to the finals and then electing as a team not to shoot threes. You'd be like, what? That's what we do.
Yeah.
What if the Celtics in this series said, we're gonna do a lot of mid-range jumpers. We're not gonna be dependent on the three. Well, that's analytically, the Celtics shoot more threes and make more threes than everybody in the league. That's who they are. Baltimore was a power running team with a wildly athletic quarterback, and they refused to run the ball against Kansas City. It remains a complete enigma, a total mystery.
I mean, to give Mahomes some credit, I think he opened the game, came right down the field, and got points. Or it was early first quarter. They just took the game, they took control, and the Ravens were playing catch up all afternoon, and they just couldn't pull it off. I'm just going to point out, and we've touched on this, a lot of turnover in that Ravens offense, Colin. Besides Odell Beckham, 2 new guys on the offensive line. They lost 2. The running back room is totally remade around Derrick Henry now. I don't think the Ravens are going to be as good as everybody. They're going 13 wins and number 1 seed. I don't see that. I think you're still bullish on them, right?
Yeah. I'm going to be bullish on teams that have Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson at quarterback. I'm going to like those teams.
To fail in the postseason in January?
To win 75% of their games.
Yeah, regular season.
Crazy take.
Yeah. That's quite a take. All right, final story is the Denver Broncos revamped their quarterback room this offseason. So now it's Bo Nix, Jarrett Stidham, and Zach Wilson. Are you ready for this? According to a report from minicamp, Zach Wilson, yes, the immortal Zach Wilson, has the, quote, liveliest arm and potentially biggest portfolio of throws he can make among the team's quarterbacks.
That's no question about that. Bo Nix is not a big, strong-armed guy. But he's smart, makes good decisions, is accurate. Zach Wilson's Jay Cutler. I never doubt his arm. I never doubt Zach Wilson's talent. It's judgment, it's seeing the field, it's reading a defense. It's not an arm talent thing. This story is not surprising. There are a lot of guys that can sling it in college and in the pros. Doesn't make them great quarterbacks. Zach's got a great arm. Justin Fields and Zach Wilson, I've compared them. Athletic, big arm, don't see the field. I can't explain it, but they just don't see the field very well.
It is interesting. This is the 3rd positive Zach Wilson story in 10 days. So they're trying to pump up his confidence. Really, hey, Zach, you're the man, dude. You got this.
Well, stuff gets out when somebody wants it out.
He's not starting week 1, right?
I don't know.
I thought it was Bo Nix was a lock.
Bo Nix will start, and Zach will be a top 5 backup talent in the league.
Oh.
Okay. You say what you want.
Wow. Top 5 backup talent?
Yeah, Zach's talented. Who's a more talented backup? Michael Penix? There's probably one. Start naming the backups in the NFL.
Penix for sure.
How many backups in the NFL would you say? A backup's got a great arm.
Wait, you're just talking about arm? That means nothing.
Well,
he's got a great arm.
It means something. Everything is something. Nothing's everything. So it's something, but I've never questioned. I wasn't a big Jay Cutler fan. I never questioned his arm. I never questioned Jay Cutler's.
Okay, fine. If you're talking top 5 backups, and it's 4th quarter, 3-point game, your starter goes down, it's Taylor Heineke or Zach Wilson. Who you trust in there? That's what I thought.
Well, neither. Can I give that as an answer?
Yeah, Zach Wilson's a top 5 backup. 0 chance.
All right. J-Mac with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
Listen, a lot of what you make in life is timing and how valuable you are. I don't think Brandon Ayuk of the San Francisco 49ers quite understands that he's not that valuable with this team. And